Hey everyone, this video today I've put together is, as a student athlete, what do I need to focus on? So time management is the first thing I want to talk about, and it's very important for student athletes to have proper time management because it can affect many different things, and I put a little short list here together of things that can affect either positively or negatively. So if you're not managing your time proper and you're up all night studying, going to bed at 2, 3 a.m., getting up at 6, 7 a.m. and going to school and having a full day and then practice on top of that, it's going to weigh on your body and it's going to affect your ability to play a sport, to train properly, to focus in the classroom. Okay? So at the bottom here, I've put a few tips, and the first two are important. Use a calendar and prioritize your time, as you want to prioritize the important stuff. Now, academics. Touching on academics again here, you could be one of the best basketball players in the world, but if you have poor attendance in class, your grades are low, then coaches and schools will pass on you, okay? Now, before I get into more in depth about grades, wherever you want to go, whatever program you're interested in, do the research on it. I've used Carleton University here for the biochem, cellular biochemistry course. And this just gives you the prerequisites of what you would need to get into it. Now, coming out of high school, you should have at minimum a 77 average overall, which is a C+, which is a GPA of 2.3. This is going to put you just above average from a grade standpoint, and it's going to help you a little bit. But if you can now focus and aim more to an 87 to 89% average, you're now a B+ student and a GPA of 3.3, which is really good. What this is going to do for you here, this shows coaches they don't have to chase you in the classroom. They don't have to worry about you studying, okay? So now they're not worried about you coming in eligible halfway through the season, and let's say you're on a scholarship, you're going to lose that scholarship. It also allows you to qualify at certain schools for the academic scholarships now, so on top of the sports one. You're going to be eligible at almost every school outside of the Ivy Leagues. There may be some Ivy League schools that do make an exception, so this gives you options. So as a student athlete, having options is huge. It also is going to jump your recruiting up, because now if you're a player that has an 87, 89 average and you're just as good as a player that has a 77 average, they're going to lean more towards you for that position. So just breaking down here what goes into the actual sport. So if you're playing at the serious level here, then you should be practicing with your team 3 to 4 days a week. Now, at certain times of the year, if you're playing high school, you're playing on a AAU team, a rep team, you may have more than 5 to 6 practices a week. Now, skill development, which is done outside of your team practice, you should be getting skill development days in 2 to 3 days a week, and I recommend 1 to 2 of those days with a skill development coach. Now you got to look at strength and conditioning. You should be getting this in 3 to 4 days a week, and I'm not saying that you're out here lifting heavy weight and trying to kill yourself in the gym. Strength and conditioning has many different variables to it, but you really got to take care of your body. You need to work on, again, your resistance, your flexibility, your agility, just as an example. So here it shows you, depending on the type of time of year you're at, you could have games up to 3 days a week, sometimes 4. And I use the example of, let's use AAU for example, from tournaments, April till mid-May, you'll play 3 to 4. Again, everyone's schedule can be different. There could be months where you could be playing 5 games a week plus having a tournament. I would recommend in your downtime or off season, and to have an off season, get into camps and clinics and showcase events. Camps and clinics, you want to focus on the things you really need to work on. So if you need to work on the low post, your footwork, find those camps. Don't work on a camp where if you're a 75% shooter, which is obviously really high, there's no need to be working on that, okay? Now, I did a 2-week example here for time management just to give you an idea. Just read over it and I'll sort of go over it quickly for you. Is You schedule your breakfast out of 6 a.m. So this is given that if you go to bed at 10 p.m. every night, you're getting about 8 hours of sleep. On your off days, so if you look at the 4th, no practice, no games. So this is your day. Sleep in a little bit, have breakfast a little later. Focus on your skill development, 9:30 to 10:30. Get some strength and conditioning in around 11 to 12, so that this way everything's out of the way. So now from 12:30 to 11 p.m., you have the rest of the day. If you go to the 10th, now it's just saying you have a tournament. So how the tournament breaks down, I'll give you a schedule of that. Park got cut off there, so if you see on the 11th where it says you eat at 11 a.m., game 3 starts at 12:30 to 2, and then you're going to rest after that game. And an example of eating at 4:30 because then you have a game at 6 o'clock. Okay? If you have trouble putting together a schedule and handling your time management, reach out to me and I can help you with that. So, need to have a social life. Okay? I'm just putting here some reasons why it's important, and you can look at it, but it's going to rest your mind, rest your body. It's going to help you build those bonds with friends and family, and it's going to allow you to be a teenager or a young adult, depending if you're finishing high school or you're just starting college and university. Okay? Don't stick to yourself and just think, oh, I got to put all this work in and I got to focus on work, because eventually your brain is going to get exhausted and you're going to push studying aside. You're going to push going to practice aside. If you have any questions, please do reach out to me. I'd love to help you out the best I can. Thank you.